squirrel downy woodland thing, nodded to show that it saw. It swallowed a couple of times as if trying to find the right amount of air to allow it to speak without sobbing. "I was a new boy last term," I said, a huge and perfectly inexplicable surge of satisfaction filling me all the way from gartered woolen socks to blue-banded boater. "It really isn't so bad, you know, though I expect you feel a bit scared and a bit homesick." It didn't quite dare look at me, but nodded again and gazed miserably down at shiny black Cambridge shoes, which seemed to me to be as small as a baby's booties. "Everybody cries. You mustn't feel bad about it." It was at this point that it announced itself to be Samuel Anthony Farlow Bunce, and to its friends Sam, but never Sammy. "I shall have to call you Bunce," I told him, "and you will call me Fry. You'll call me Fry S.J. if my bro is about, so there won't be any mix-up. Not Fry Minor, or Fry the Younger. I don't like that. Here, I've got a spare hanky. Why don't you blow your nose? There'll be others along in a minute." "Others?" He looked up from emptying himself into my hanky like a baby deer hearing a twig snap by a waterpool and cast his eyes about him in panic. "Just other train boys. There are usually about 20 of us. You see that piece of paper stuck to the window? Reserved for Stouts Hill School, it says. We've got this whole carriage to ourselves, 4 compartments." "What happens when we get there?" "What do you mean?" "When we get to the station." "Oh, there'll be a bus to meet us, don't worry. I'll make sure you aren't lost." "How old are you?" "I'm 7.5. He looked much younger. Nappy age, he looked. "Don't worry," I said again. "I'll look after you. Everything will be fine." "I'll look after you." The pleasure of saying those words, the warm, wet sea of pleasure, quite extraordinary. A little pet all to myself. "We'll be friends," I said. "It won't be nearly as bad as you expect. You'll see." Kindly paternal thoughts hummed in my mind as I tried to imagine every worry that might be churning him up. All I had to do was remember my own dreads of the term before. "Everyone's very nice, really. Matron unpacks for you, but you've got to take your games clothes down to the bag room yourself, so you'll have to know your school number so as you can find the right peg. My number's 104, which is the highest number in the school's history, but 12 boys left last term and there are only 8 or 9 new boys, so there probably won't ever be a 105. I'm an otter. Someone will probably tell you what house you're in. You should watch out for Hampton. He gives Chinese burns and dead legs. If Mr. Kemp is on duty, he gives bacon slices. It's soccer this term, my bro says. I hate soccer, but it's conkers as well, which is supposed to be really good fun. My bro says everyone goes crazy at conker time. Conkers bonkers, my bro says." Bunce closed up the snotty mess in the middle of my hanky and tried to smile. "In 2 weeks' time," I said, remembering something my mother had told me, "you'll be bouncing about like a terrier, and you won't even be able to remember being a bit nervous on the train." I looked out of the window and saw some boaters and female hats approaching. "Though in your case," I added, "you'll be buncing about." A real smile and the sound of a small giggle. "Here we go," I said. "I can hear some boys coming. Tell you what, here's my Ranger. Why don't you be reading it when they come in so you'll look nice and busy?" He took it gratefully. "You're so kind," he said. "I've never met anyone as kind as you." "Nonsense," I replied, glowing like a hot coal. I heard the grand sounds of approaching seniors. "OK then, Mum," someone said. "Don't say OK, darling. And you will write this time, won't you?" "OK, Mum." My bro and I never called our parents Mum and Dad. It was always Mummy and Daddy until years later when Mother and Father were officially sanctioned. Towards adulthood, we allowed ourselves to use, with self-conscious mock-pooterism, Ma and Pa. Last term, I'd put my hand up in an art lesson and said, "Mummy, can I have another piece of charcoal?" The form had howled with laughter. There again, during the first weeks of summer holidays, I often called my mother Sir or Matron. Bunce buried himself in the Trigon Empire, but I knew that he was listening to the sounds too, and I could tell that the confidence and loudness of the other boys' voices terrified him. He clutched the sides of the comic so hard that little rips appeared on the outer pages. On the way to Paddington after lunch, I had felt more dread, infinitely more terror and despair at the prospect of school than I had the term before. During the long summer holiday, Roger had told me to expect this. Homesickness was much worse the second and third terms than it was the first. Bunce had come as a